Good morning, everybody. This is a little something for my brothers and sisters in the urban hood today. I go into class to teach and scared to death that people are going to shoot me, rob me, not respect me, tell me I'm a crazy old white man, blah, blah, blah. But I went on in there. I don't know how I did it, why I did it, but I just did. Took a deep breath. I said, I'm going to treat these guys the way I want to be treated. Boom. First kid comes in. Good morning. How are you today? He looks at me. Hello. I'm Coach Fulton. What's your name? My name is Tavarius. Tavarius. Good to meet you, brother. Where you live? Well, I'm over here. Okay. Cool. Well, listen, man. I'm here to teach you U.S. history today. And you're in here for some reason to learn. What's the deal? Well, I'm a senior and I need to take this SOL to graduate. Okay, no problem. That's the plan. So we're going to work on what we got to do to get you through this thing. So let's sit down and let's talk about history and whatever. So the young man and I sit down, we start talking. And not that I am an expert by any means who could be a professional professor of history and rhetoric and the social sciences. I knew a little something about history and kind of how it was organized up until today. But my young friend had no idea. And I don't know why he didn't have any idea. Did he not listen? Did he not care? Did he not get educated back in that way? It doesn't matter. The fact is today, he has a job. He's got to pass a test about history that was 500, 600, 700 years ago. How is he going to relate that to what he is living in today in order to pass a test so he can go on out and live and play? That's a rhyme. But it's very, very important how to relate what went on in the past that influenced our culture, that we get tested on, that we have to know in order to move forward and make some kind of living, via an education. And then you got to explain that to the young man. Well, so there was a time to explain why you got to learn how to adapt, improvise, overcome in the history class. And if you do that, then you can adapt, improvise, overcome in another class. And if you show people that you can AIO here, you can AIO there, then when it comes time to get a job, you can AIO anywhere. That's the purpose of education. But I don't want to get into that right now. Thomas Jefferson knew that we needed education for our kids to keep them busy, to keep them educated, to keep them competitive, and to be able to adapt, improvise, overcome, so we could survive as a community. That's it. AIO. Well, once that young man and I had that conversation, he was ready to listen to things about the history. Excuse me. So that we could answer the questions that were going to be asked. And these questions come to him so randomly. The first question might be about what happened in Jamestown with the Indians and the settlers. The next question might be to talk about the 1930s Depression. The next question might be who won the war in World War II? Who were we fighting against in the Pacific Theater? And the guy that's living in the hood just trying to figure out how to eat for the day and get from his community without getting shot to the other community in clean clothes. Putting all that on a timeline and then asking him questions. Whoa! So we have to find a way to make it relevant. We have to find a way to get those things that he's going to be tested on applicable to his culture and lifestyle today, period. And somebody says, well, he needs to learn this thing. Why does he need to learn that? Why does he need to know exactly where Thomas Jefferson was, Ben Franklin was doing on, April the 12th, 1782? That's great information once you're really into it. But just to know that Ben Franklin was one of the founding fathers in 1776 and beyond, that's a biggie. But you got to even relate 1700s. Good God, man. The trees weren't even that old. That's what the guy would say to me. He said, Coach, what does this have to do with anything? Well, that's my job. My job is to explain to you what these guys did back in the day. That were the grandfathers to your grandfather if you know him. Yeah, because those guys back then had an influence on what we're doing right now. Talking about history. Having the freedom to take a test or not take a test. Having the freedom to study and learn if you want to learn. Or have the freedom to go out and work or not work. That's what those guys did for us. So it might be smart for us to go back and try to paint a story so that we can tell other people about it. And bottom line, you can pass that test when they ask you a bunch of questions. Do you agree? Sir, I do. Let's get after it. Okay. So that's what we did. We started finding a way to go through the book and take out the highlights and outline a timeline from Chris Columbus coming over here and finding gold and a bunch of naked natives running around, and he thought they were India, and now they're Indians. And that was in 1492 when he sailed the ocean blue. To the Pilgrims landing up in the north because the winds blew them up that way. I mean, all that stuff. We had to figure out a way to make it relative so he could picture these things in his brain. You know, a lot of guys that might be in the urban community, they may never, ever have left their home within a city block. Or if they have left the city block, maybe they went to the other side of the city, but never went out into the woods, never went and visited the ocean, never saw the mountains, never saw some of these things that our forefathers and fathers before them that we're reading about. So when you tell a guy that they were over in France, he's got no more idea about France than the man in the moon, except what he sees on the internet, the New Eve Christmas parties and things that we see on TV at late at night when we're not in school, you know. So, yes, we have to find ways to make it relevant. So we did that. I would love to show some with you, but I got so many going through my head right now. I need to take a break and go back and put it on a piece of paper and regurgitate it to you in such a way that would make sense so that you could follow it, because I am about as ADD as they come. And if you have made it this far listening to what I'm saying, God bless you. Peace.